Oh, excuse me. As we actually record today, the franchise tags start today.
Yep.
And I know we're doing top 100 free agent show, but we might have to cut in with a show before then to talk about who got franchise tagged and who didn't. Because as of right now, we're recording and no one's been tagged yet, but it's today.
Welcome to Six Rings and Counting. I'm your host, Corey Idle, and joining me, as always, back from his illustrious vacation with Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, Ben Roethlisberger, a couple of the Rooney families. The man I'm talking about is, of course, Mr. Lou Willard. How we doing, mister?
Man, I'm doing great. You got to understand, when the brass of the Steelers ask you to go on a Bahamas vacation with them to talk football, you go. I didn't even know what kind of PTO I had for my own company. So I had to get with my wife to check my PTO situation. And I was allowed to go because I took her with me.
I was going to say, as long as you take the boss with you on the trip, you're
so
good.
we was good. We were good.
I love it. I love it. Well, while you were gone, we talked a lot about free agency, which we're going to have a bigger show coming up for everybody here over the course of the next couple weeks, really diving into every free agent. And we also were singing your praises, Lou, because it turns out you've pretty much been right about everything.
Not everything, but I hit that when I saw the show you put out, which was an excellent show. A little bit too much praise for me, but it was an excellent show elsewise.
I told them you wouldn't let me do that if you were there.
Yeah, I was going to tell you about that. I wasn't telling you through the text. I'm telling you now that we're recording. That's a little bit too much praise for me. But I just knew that the Eagles was way too physical for the Chiefs up front. That didn't mean I thought for sure that they would beat them, and nobody saw that whooping coming. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was a whooping. But I couldn't see the Chiefs running the ball. They were banged up at the running back position. Pacheco didn't make it back like they would hoped he would, but dude broke his leg. He'll be back next year. Oh, but Kareem Hunt wasn't going to get it done, and the Eagles' defensive front was just way too physical, and it showed up, and it showed up early, and it continued throughout the game. I mean, if not for a late touchdown, you're looking at 40-8 or 40-16 or something stupid like that.
Yeah, it was a wash.
40-22. So it would have been like 40-14 or something like that. Mm-hmm. It was over early. This thing was 27-0, 27-zip. I said, damn.
And New England and Tom Brady fans rejoiced everywhere watching Patrick Mahomes go down. That was their moment. But we are not here to talk about the Super Bowl. We are here because franchise tag off-season is upon us. It is jamming. We got a lot of exciting off-season things about to happen, especially for our Pittsburgh Steelers. They have to be busy, Lou. Am I correct?
If we're not, what we doing?
That's it.
You got to get in the game and it start with that quarterback position. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens because as we actually record today, the franchise tags start today.
Yep.
And I know we're doing top 100 free agent show, but we might have to cut in with a show before then to talk about who got franchise tagged and who didn't. Because as of right now, we're recording and no one's been tagged yet, but it's today. So, but we got to get our show out. Therefore, we can't sit around and wait on these fools to get tagged. But once they do, we can throw another show out and have our producer Nathan pop it out for us. So y'all might get lucky and catch a show Saturday or Sunday. Hell, maybe even Friday. It all depends. We'll see who gets tagged. And if any big names get tagged and anything exciting happen, I might do a short, send it to you or call you and we'll do one. Because it's going to be some big names to get tagged, like T. Higgins. We've talked for 15 minutes before we start recording about what the big one's going to do about him. And since he's a leading candidate, My prediction is they're going to tag him a second time, pay him about, which is going to be 30. I forget, we got the numbers out, but it's going to be 35 to 38 million on him for 1 year.
Yep.
And then they're going to try to sign him, and then they're going to do the same thing to Jamar Chase. I cannot believe it. Just sign them the contracts. And that way, by the time their contracts are going, you just re-sign Joe Burrow. Being a Steelers show, we hope it all fall apart.
Oh, yeah.
But I cannot believe they're letting this happen. Can't believe it.
No. And the for sure casualty in all of this right now has to be the way it's trending, because I agree with you. T. Higgins, for all intents and purposes, is going to get that second tag. It's going to happen. So
yes,
erase. If you're a Steelers fan, you're like, we're going after T. Higgins. We're not. Unless Lou brought this up, they might do some sort of sign and trade, something like that. But as of right now, that dude's probably going to be a Bengal.
And when he came out and said that if he leaves Cincinnati, he wants to play for Pittsburgh because he likes Mike Tomlin. That's just to get money. I'm not saying that's not true, but I'm saying that is so he makes the Bengals sign. He's saying, sign me or play against me, is what he's saying.
Right. He's not pulling a Devontae Adams where he wants to play with his college quarterback. He wants to play with his buddy, Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's not what that is. No, I totally agree with that. Interestingly enough, another huge name has come up. And I want to throw this out there. The Steelers, so far, the biggest name that we have released, I will throw this out there, has been Preston Smith, outside linebacker. He was let go.
Yeah, he had to go, though.
Yep. And with that, though, we have just a little bit over $53 million in cap space.
Yep.
Now, while he is not T. Higgins, while he does have some injury concerns, a 28-year-old veteran's about to hit the market by the name of Chris Godwin, Tampa Bay wide receiver. Is that any kind of attraction to you, or just?
Oh, I would take him in a heartbeat. The dude, like, he doesn't get nicked up. When he gets hurt, he gets hurt. And that's I'd rather take that than a dude, oh, my hamstring hurt. Oh, my back is banged up. Oh, my shoulder's hurt. No, I broke my ankle. I tore my ACL. You ain't gonna, it's like being in 2 plane crashes. You ain't tearing that same ACL twice often. I tore both of mine, but each one time. Now you get Nick Chubb, who messed his knee up twice, but it's kind of like a plane crash. You ain't crashing more than one time on the same injury. And he would be he's a good locker room guy. And if you're going to keep Pickens, you have to bring in a good locker room guy. That's why I'm not against them bringing in a 31-year-old Cooper Kupp. Everybody, you're going to go get an old wide receiver? Yes, if this kid over here will listen, if he will listen to him, I will gladly bring him in. But if he's not going to listen, then we don't have to worry about that receiver or him, because he's out of here after this year anyway.
Right. And I tell you who I can almost guarantee you who would benefit the most from having Cooper Kupp on the roster, because I'm totally with you. I'm all in on grabbing Cooper Kupp at this point. And I think he would help Calvin Austin in that slot position.
Oh, a ton.
Much.
A ton.
That would be such a fun signing for us. Obviously, you'd have to work out some sort of trade, but he's already said so far on social media he expects to be released or traded. If they can't trade him by March 4th, they're dumping him.
That's what you want to wait on. You just want to wait on the March 4th, March 5th date when they decide to release him. Because I think he's due his roster bonus March 4th. Roster bonuses are due, if I remember correctly. So you'll know March 4th by 4 o'clock. They release him. You get on the horn with him. You see what it'll take for a 1 year, $10 million deal to get, and you're coming to play with a contender, even though I get it. We haven't won a playoff game, but we've been in them.
Yep.
You haven't. We've been boat racing the first quarter, 73-0 in the last 6. You take that quarter away, which you can't. I understand that. And these games are tight the rest of the way. We just start too slow. When you start adding players like that, maybe it helps you start faster. And if you plan to keep Justin Fields, bringing in a Cooper Kupp, who is very reliable, it can only help him. It can only help him.
I'm so glad you brought that, because that was literally what I was thinking at that moment. Assuming we sign Justin, which is, again, much like the T. Higgins being franchise tagged, everyone is pointing to us signing Justin. He wants to be here, unless like the Jets throw him just an ungodly amount of money.
Yeah,
I can't imagine him going anywhere. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, assuming we keep Justin and he is our starting quarterback, do you have to stack the receiving core, or do you just have to run the damn ball better?
I mean, it's a combination of two, but you can't keep him if you're not going to give him any receivers to throw the ball to.
Well, sure.
That doesn't even make any sense. Hell, I might as well be the quarterback at that point in time. I can't throw it anyway, but nobody would know because there's nobody to throw it to.
Right.
But if you're going to keep him, you're going to have to give him $25 to $30 million, which is, whether you like it or not, welcome to the quarterback market. You just sign him for 3 or 4 years instead of 6 or 7. If you can get away with 2 years, $60 million, you take that. You just guarantee him all of that money. So he's guaranteed that money, and you're only out of $60 million instead of, say, for like instance, Tampa Bay, who signed Baker to 3 years, 100. They're out of 100, but at least he panned out. Oh, so I'm not saying that he didn't work. He's working way better than anybody thought he would. 100%. But if you can get Fields to sign a 2-year, $60 million guaranteed contract, fully guaranteed, boom, he'll sign. It's $30 million a year.
At $30 million a year, too, you're still getting him cheap, because I'll hip you to this real quick. Quarterbacks getting the non-exclusive franchise tag are getting paid just over $41 million for 1 year.
Exactly.
The transition tag, which is the average of the top 10 salaries at the position for quarterback, is just over $35 million a year. So you're basically saving. Now I get it, Justin Fields, top 10 quarterback money, but he's got us more over a barrel than we've got him.
And the thing is, don't forget he was foreign too.
Yeah.
He scored 32 points and went to the bench. So it's not like he was out there going 1-5 and was a bust. The thing is, Mike Tomlin, for all his faults, or one of the best things is he keeps his word. Mm-hmm. He told Russell Wilson he would start when he was healthy, and that's exactly what he did. But this kid was just heating up.
Yep.
I mean, we came off a 32-point game on the road, and he went to the bench and never really played again. He played 6 more plays the rest of the year?
Yep.
A handful of plays. But if they're going to keep him, they have to give him somebody to throw the ball to, because you can guarantee his contract, and that buys you 2 years, which buys you a total of 4, because all you got to do is franchise tag him and tag him again.
Yep.
And then you find somebody else. Now he's into his 8th and 9th year. So you know if it's working or not.
Oh, yeah. But in the meantime, the developmental tag is off of him by then.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Because you got Arthur Smith, who wanted him anyway. That's why Russell Wilson had the problem with Arthur Smith, because Arthur Smith said he wanted Justin Fields to start the whole season.
Yep.
And Mike Tomlin said, no, I told him he was starting before he hired Arthur Smith.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a big soap opera. Remember The Guiding Light, Young and the Restless?
These are the days of our lives.
These are the days
Steelers
of our
edition.
lives. Dealing with the damn Steelers, man. I'm telling you. Look, I know I told you that, brother, but this ain't broke. So no, we not going to be fixing it. So stay on the bench, and we'll call you in if this kid start messing up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I know to tell you. But if they're going to sign Fields, damn the defense. The defense is the defense. You got to bring in receiver. Now, I know everybody keeps saying, well, we got Roman Wilson. We don't know what he's going to do.
No.
Unfortunately, like Calvin Austin, he was hurt his entire rookie year, so he never played. Now, if he can come back like Calvin Austin, hey, we got something working.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't know what the nut on the outside going to do. We always keep a nut. We always got a nut on the outside. A number one receiver that's a nut. What he going to do? So that's why I would like to see him bring in. I would love to see him get T. Higgins. That's not going to happen. But I would love to see them go get a Cooper Kupp. People saying Devontae Adams. Yeah, but is he willing to teach? If you're gonna get a veteran receiver over 30 years old, he's got to be willing to come in and be able to connect to this kid. And if you can, because we have to pay him. This is last year, or he's going to be a free agent. They're going to have to tag him or cut him or release him, trade him, whatever. You're in a pickle. So you got to go get somebody that can talk to him, somebody he can connect to. And if that's Adams, great. But you can't just get older at receiver for the sake of getting older.
No.
Your quarterback is going to be 26 years old. Can't have me and you running around out there.
No. And maybe me. I'm pretty slick. But
I mean, you are, but you can't get open. You look good in your uniform. I mean, you kind of look like Ray Guy in your uniform, but that's okay.
I'm a scrappy gym rat. I'm a smart player. I make smart plays. What I keep going back to in the Cooper Kupp of it all, and I hate going back on this because I know we're supposed to be talking more about franchise tags, but this is such a big deal for our offense.
We got an entire show we can do about franchise tags.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what I'm envisioning. And if I'm crazy, I'm crazy. But you have George Pickens, who can run your intermediate deep routes, yada, yada. You have Calvin Austin, great with his speed running that deep route. You have Cooper Kupp and Freiermuth running on the inside. And like you said, we have no idea what Wilson's going to do. Cooper Kupp, for a quarterback in the position that Justin Fields is in, even if he's lost a step, is still a big enough name, which matters to a quarterback like a Justin Fields, I would imagine, because Kupp has those hands. He has that name because he built it on those hands.
And not only that, he's going to be where he's supposed to be. So if you're the quarterback and it's breaking down, this guy is going to be where he's supposed to be, and he knows how to work back to the ball also. So he's going to come back. He's going to work to you for you to get somebody at least throw the ball at his feet. Yeah, you don't have to take a sack. Because what they say about Fields, sacks and fumbles is his biggest issues. Those are huge issues for any player, but especially a quarterback. So if he got somebody he knows where he's going to be, can release the ball to, and somebody not pouting when they ran down the field, and you were open, but you can't respect the fact that somebody missed their block on the line, and so the quarterback missed you because he's running for his life. So instead of working back to him, you're stopping on your route, George Pickens.
Yep.
And not working back to the guy to help him out. That's what you don't need. You need guys that will do that. And that's what a veteran wide receiver will do. And I'm hoping they can bring one in that will convince George Pickens, baby boy, you're looking at it. Let's just be honest. They all play because they love the game, right?
Sure.
That's why I played it. Now you're playing for money. Look, George, and you staring down the barrel of $25 million a year. Can you not act like you got a little bit of sense if it ain't nothing but an act?
Yep.
Come on, man.
Just until you get paid. Get that second contract and then while out.
But then they can still cut you, though.
Exactly.
The only money you get is your guaranteed money.
Yeah.
This is not the NBA or baseball. Your only money is guaranteed. Man, look, sign a 4-year deal for whatever money. Act like you got some sense for 4 more years. That's 51 games. And then who cares what you do? Quit. Retire. I wouldn't say quit. I say just casually retire. And you got your 4-year, $80 million contract, $100 million contract, whatever it is. You got your money. But quit acting stupid. Quit giving up on plays. So when you get to these tags, Pittsburgh really has to – we don't have anybody that we need to tag, honestly.
There's
Who you gonna
nobody.
tag? Who you gonna tag? They did the smartest thing they could. Preston Smith is a good player. They should try. I'm sure they're going to try to re-sign him, but you can't re-sign him when he was going to be a $12 million cap hit. You can. I'm sorry. You saved $12 million by releasing him.
Yes.
So he had to go. Now, if you can bring him back and he's not that hit, you bring him back because he played well. He played really well when he was in there. Yeah. So if you can get him back, get him back. And I'm sure they're working on that now. Not saying they're going to get him back because he's going to have options.
Oh, sure. Yeah. This was a salary cap move. This had nothing to do with his play.
Yeah, but then again, he's in his 30s. We're talking about a 32, 33-year-old player. So hopefully he doesn't have many more options outside of Pittsburgh. And then that way they can sign him right back. And now you still got your 4 outside linebackers intact to keep that defense where it's at. But we got to restructure Minka. I mean, you can't pay Minka $18 million a year, man. And I am a Minka fan.
Oh, yeah.
But Pittsburgh's offense has wasted his talent. Like they're doing TJ Watt, like they're doing Cam. But we got to restructure, though. We got to restructure Minka. Can't pay him $18 million. You just can't. So the market is not $18 million for him.
No, not at all. Let me ask you this, and I hate to interrupt you, but this came across the wire a couple minutes ago, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Last week, I had mentioned Byron Murphy Jr. for the Vikings cornerback.
Yeah, cornerback.
Yep. He was expected to be tagged by the Vikings. Turns out the Vikings ended up pushing back his contract void date, so they cannot franchise tag him. He will be a free agent. Now, would you pursue somebody like him knowing he's going to cost you money, especially with a big T. Higgins kind of player off of the market more than likely?
It all depends on what I'm looking at. Everything. I know I sound like a broken record. If you're going with Fields, you got to focus on the offense.
Okay.
Or what I would do with them is I would offer them, because they can trade him, right? They just can't franchise tag him.
Yep, for now.
Offer them Minka for him. Now you're saving that $18 million, so now you can still sign him and pair him up with Porter.
Yep.
And that still leaves you your money to work on the offense. But Pittsburgh needs to pour all this 53. They're going to have 53 to 60 million because there should be another release or two coming up for salary cap purposes. So they should be right about 60 million under the cap, not over the cap, under the cap, which is very important verbiage. Under the cap. You got 60 million to work with. And they need to pour all that 60 million on the offensive side of the ball and get a quarterback. And the quarterback's in the building. Not currently, because he's free agent. Sign Fields and give him every weapon you can. And then you sign your reliable veteran backup, Aaron Jones or somebody, 1 year, $8 million to back up Jalen Warren because Najee's out the building. And because you can just match whatever offer Warren's going to get, and he's going to get some, but you just match that offer and move on. You love Najee, great. He did his thing, but bye. It's time to go, and you let him go. You sign an Aaron Jones 1 year, $8 million to back up Jalen Warren. Yep. Now you got they're the same running back, the younger one just starting. You bring in the veteran, he's just like the younger one, so you're good there. But you gotta get a receiver. I don't overpay. You gotta get a receiver. I mean, I'm calling T. Higgins' agent and going, we'll give him $30 million a year because you can tag Pickens the next 2 years. So you don't have to pay him next year. Just tag him for one and work the money out after that. Because guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to pay Jalen Warren.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's why you just guarantee Fields money on his contract. 3 years, $90 million, giving $30 million. I said 2 for $60 earlier in the show. Now that I'm thinking it out, make it 3 for $90 If you really believe he's the guy, 3 for 90, boom, guaranteed, done. I don't have to worry about him. And then as these guys come up, I can get the franchise tag and my quarterback again.
Right.
And these guys they've forgotten more about, I don't know anything about, they've forgotten more than I'll ever know about the numbers. That shit's crazy to me.
Oh, yeah, that's insane. If you have to have a law degree to negotiate these numbers, I'm out.
You got 53 players to worry about with that. It's 53. Nuts. We're talking about 3 or 4 and getting confused. So imagine 53.
Let me ask you this, and this may be the last question for the show. And as Lou mentioned, any franchise tag news comes up big, we'll let you know, especially as it pertains to the Steelers. For the most part, though, March 4th is when we're really going to be kicking off some big shit's happening.
Some big news.
My question for you is this, because I agree with you. You're correct. We focus on the offense. You bring in some wide receiver that's going to help. You focus on backing up Jalen, getting the offensive line back to where it needs to be, et cetera, et cetera. Dante Jackson's gone. Pretty much going to happen. With that, we're basically left with Joey Porter Jr. and Corey Trice.
Yeah, Trice can play.
Would you focus
concern me?
Okay, it still leaves a gap.
Yeah,
a little bit. No, I believe Corey can play 100%. I think he needs some time though, and I think he would be better suited, maybe taking a back seat and not having to have that second role. Across from Joey.
This was essentially his rookie year because he missed his rookie year because he got hurt. So he's going into his second season. You're going to find out next year one way or another. So if that's what you're going with, and here come the beating the dead horse part, you better be able to score points in case he can't hold up. Because we need people on the other side of the ball.
What would you do in the draft? Would you look at that in the draft, or would you focus more on the defensive line? Because it seems like offense, we're going veterans. We're signing free agents. That's what we're going to stock.
My first pick in the draft, and I've said it on the show, is Emeka Egbuka. If he's still there at 21, I'm getting him because leading receiver in Ohio State history.
Yep.
I'll let you guys do your research on how many receivers have come through Ohio State, went to the NFL, and put on a gold jacket, or going to be putting on a gold jacket.
Mm-hmm.
That list, hell, there's 10 of them starting in the NFL right now. Mm-hmm. He just played back up to them. That's why he was always the number 2, because he's playing against guys that's team's number 1 wide receivers in the NFL. So was he a number 2? No. He played number 2 this year because he backed up the best receiver in NFL or in college football. Jeremiah Smith would be a top 3 pick if he wasn't 18 years old and was eligible for the draft. That's why Emeka Egbuka was not the number 1 wide receiver at Ohio State. But I would go there, and then I would go D-line, and I'll look at some of these free agents before we do the thing. But in the draft, I would go D-line after that. And that might change after I look at stuff, because I might go, no, I would go sign this guy and then change my pick back, because I've also said I'd bring in Aaron Jones. But let me see what running backs are out there. But I would love to see an Aaron Jones come in to coach up Jalen Warren, give him some veteran advice. And you still might be able to pick up a guy on the back end of the draft, because there's some good running backs. This is a deep running back draft. It's a deep running back draft. But I would go receiver, D-line, cornerback. And I know people, you've been sitting here going, you need to go offense. So, yeah, that's through free agency.
Exactly.
Spend your free agent money on the offense. Your draft goes defense after that first pick. But that first pick, I'm going to Emeka Egbuka, or a receiver. I believe he's out of Arizona State or Texas. I forget his name, but because I wasn't prepared, but which I apologize for. But I'll get you an answer on that for the next show. But I would go Egbuka or that other receiver, and I'm riding it out. Somebody got to work out. Somebody has to work. Somebody has to work out. You can't keep playing this game with no. Ask the Giants. You can't keep playing this game without receivers.
No. Well, I mean, you don't even have to ask the Giants. Ask the Steelers.
Yeah.
It's the game we've been playing for a minute. I mean,
you see it. Like, okay, you're going to win 10 games, then what?
Yep. That's it.
You get smoked.
And you got more people now throwing smut on Mike's name. You got, what's his name? Derwin Gray. Old offensive lineman for us came out. I mean, he was a bit of a journeyman, so it's not like, one of like a Pouncey came out and was like, man, I didn't learn anything there. But he was shitting all over the coaching staff this week, saying his line coaches never taught him anything, blah, 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 blah. It's just, man, Mike got to win a playoff game, man. You got to.
You do. If you want to quiet all that, you got to win a playoff game. But at the same time, for the dude to say, I didn't learn anything, man, you're in the NFL, you should already be able to play. You're not watching film. So if you didn't learn nothing, you're not watching the tape. Mm-hmm. The tape teach you everything you need to learn. The coach going to teach you a couple techniques that you should know most of them. And then you get the other techniques off of by watching the film. And you switch your technique up. So get the hell out of here with that part of it. If y'all want to say Tom will need to go because we ain't winning playoff games, look, I'm still not fully on board with that. He got 2 more years. I'm not going to go back on my word. I said I'll let him play this contract out because I am a Tomlin guy. But at the end of this next 2 years, man, if he don't have it, I'll be the first one to say he got to go. And I'm not talking the Super Bowl. I'm talking about a playoff win. And if we don't have it, then damn, Mike, he be over here. We'll be eating pulled pork off my smoker on Sundays because he got to go. And that's just the reality of it. This is about winning and losing, man. This is not just making the playoffs. This is not Cleveland. We're not the Jets. Man, get the hell out of here with that bullshit. We ain't the Saints trying to win Super Bowls. So you got to be competing. Making the playoffs is not competing. Winning in the playoffs is competing.
Let me put it this way. We named this show 6 Rings and Counting, not because of the number of ex-wives I have. It's because of the number of Super Bowl rings we got, and we're still chasing them mugs. That's why I called this show.
Oh, God. Looking to change the name.
That's it.
Oh, we need to change the name.
It's so wild, man. All right. We're going to get out of here. We have for you guys over the next 3 weeks, we're probably going to break it up into 3 shows. We are going to break down the top 100 free agents. I know everybody else is doing it. They don't do it like we do it, though. We're going to give you the real and not like blowing smoke up everybody's butt. And the Raiders are signing 38 of the best free agents out there, and the Patriots are signing the next 23. Get the hell out of here. It ain't happening. We're going to really break this down for you guys over the next few weeks. And of course, as Lou said, any breaking news coming up, especially major Steelers news, you will be hearing from one, if not both of us, that very day. So stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're liking the videos. I know people aren't sharing this because Lou's information is so good. You want to sound like the smart guy at the water cooler at work. I get it. I've been there. I've done it. Stop, though. Share this show. Other Steelers fans deserve to know we're out here and get it involved in the same information Lou is. So before you can contradict me, for Lou Willard, I'm Corey Idle. This has been 6 Rings and Counting. We will catch you guys next week for the free agency extravaganza.